and government for organizing this event and allowing this sort of medium to get some questions answered. I would also like to thank Eldon News for being a part of this event and being able to stream it on multiple platforms. All right. So to begin this Q&A, the first question that I have for Dr. Linda Rose is that it's been announced that you will be retiring. Can you speak a little bit about this decision?
Yes, I have been thinking about retirement, and I'm not ashamed to say I will be a very proud and young 67 years old in June. And I have been dreaming about traveling, and I love doing arts and crafts. And it's very, 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 very difficult to do that when I love my job so much that I don't take the time to do all those other things. So I figured, and with my family, my sons encouraging me, they're like, Mom, you need to take the time and do the traveling you want to do, do your mosaics, make your jewelry, do your artwork. So I decided now's the time to do it. It just happened to be in the middle of a pandemic. So it's unfortunate, but I'm truly looking forward to do it. But the decision didn't come about happenstance. I've been planning this for almost 2 years. So yeah. It's time. 67 is a young age, and I'm looking to 98 or 100.
Yeah, I think a lot of people were very curious about that. So, thank you for speaking a little bit about that.
Yeah.
The next question that we do have is, what was your greatest accomplishment as the president of Santa Ana College?
I would say my first, one of the greatest things, or I would say I have thousands of great things. And those thousands of great things are the number of students that have graduated from Santa Ana College since I've been the president. And I hope that through my encouragement, through my support of faculty, the staff, the administration, that through my support, all those students who enrolled at Santa Ana College and made the decision to complete a particular program, that in some small way, something that I did had something to do with that. So I would say, first, I have thousands of those. Then I would say that the fact that Santa Ana College has a bachelor's degree program in occupational studies is a fabulous thing. We are the only community college to have a bachelor's degree program in California in occupational studies, which means that our students who sign up for the OTA program, they can go straight into a bachelor's degree program at Santa Ana College, and it won't cost them a fortune. At the most, it may cost them maybe between 10 and 15K, not 30 or 40. So that is wonderful. I'm just really proud of that. I'm also proud of the work that the campus has done around the implementation of guided pathways. We were one of 20 demonstration colleges in California to sign on to what in terms of the vision for success at the chancellor's office. Guided pathways is the future. We are in the future right now with the implementation. Many of you may know about the CAPS, and you probably heard and you were a part of the push in the fall of 2019, especially for all incoming freshmen, to complete an ed plan. That's extremely important. The goal is to help students come in, figure out where they're going, and keep moving. So I would say the bachelor's degree program, the implementation of guided pathways. I could list many, many others, but I know time is one of the things that we need to be concerned with. So those would be the key things.
Yeah, I think those are some amazing things that you've done. I think a lot of students and faculty members can agree that what you have done has been pretty amazing in your time as president of Santa Ana College. So
Thank
I
you.
do, so I do think that Leslie has a few questions to ask herself. So let her take it away.
Okay.
Yes, thank you, Julia. Well, I'm Leslie, editor in chief of the Eldon News, and I'll just go ahead and get right into the first question. So, this question is regarding the construction. So, in what ways have the ongoing construction have been affected due to COVID-19? And can you please give some examples for our students?
Okay. Luckily, the construction work has not been impacted in a negative way. Actually, it continues. Um, the Science Center is still on target to be open in the spring of 2021. The Johnson Center I was on campus last week, and they're wrapping the building. I saw the brown stuff. Anyway, I didn't see frame ring. I said, "Yay, yeah, yeah." I was so excited. I was just so excited. I actually walked outside and was like, "Yes." So that was just really wonderful because when I came in 2016, it was a mud pit. It was a mud pit outside. And to see the Science Center and to see the Johnson Center actually, wow, come out of the ground into these beautiful buildings. I am so excited for the students at Santa Ana College when those buildings are occupied. You're going to have a state of the art science center, which is fabulous, and a new student center to serve students in a way where they can go in and well, we'll have to congregate in a different way. That's going to be interesting because what was planned before, perhaps some of those things may have to change, but the space is absolutely wonderful. So the construction continues. It hasn't been impacted in a negative way where there will be a delay. No, that's a great thing. I'm so happy about that. Yeah.
Yes, well, thank you for sharing. And it sounds very exciting, the Johnson Center, being near to completion. Because I know from the time I've been in Santa Ana College, it's been huge deal. So I'm glad to hear that about the Johnson Center. So we've been getting several sources that have indicated about like 90% of our classes at SAG will remain online in the fall of 2020 semester. In the light of this, in what ways do you anticipate students returning to campus?
I can't say definitively
Mhm.
that all of the courses in the fall will be online. We are actually working on that right now. There are so many things that we have to put in place before that decision is made, but that decision will be made very soon because students need to register, they need to plan out where they're going and what they're doing. So the decision for fall to be completely online has not been made yet. However, summer, yes, the plan is to make sure that our offerings for the summer are available. They will be online considering what Governor Newsom's orders are, what the standing orders are right now in the city of Santa Ana and the county of Orange. We have to adhere to those orders as well. So the summer, yes, we will be online, but we haven't decided definitively about the fall. But that decision will be made very soon.
All right, and I'll be looking forward to that announcement too. So, I know it's a bit of a jump. I know we talked about a little bit about like, the school and the construction, about classes and online. And right now, because we're in the middle of a pandemic, I know there's a lot of like, insecurity among students and teachers and everything like that. But from an administrator's perspective, what is the future of California community colleges and or SAC? What do you envision the future of SAC to be?
Excellent question. I have thought a lot about that. I will say that the future of higher education to me, and this is your, now remember, you're listening to someone who loves education. I have been a learner all of my life. I didn't know I was a learner until I took the strengths quiz, but I am a learner. Um, and I'm curious about life and a lot of different things. So education to me provides individuals with the opportunity to transform themselves and their communities. No one can ever take your education away from you. Um, when I graduated, I remember when I graduated from high school, and I did not move on to college right after high school. I had several different jobs, moving, floating from place to place. And I didn't go back to school until I was in my 40s. Until I was in my 30s, my mid 30s, I went back to school. And I earned 3 degrees in 6 years. So education is important to me because without it, I would not be sitting here right now speaking to you in this format. So I do believe that the future of education is bright, and it's bright at Santa Ana College as well. We have worked very hard to put programs in place in order to ensure that students are able to learn from faculty, staff, administrators, but they're able to participate in programs that are relevant to the times. As you know, we have a pharmacy tech program, we have our nursing program, we have our occupational studies program, we even have a culinary arts program, and a nutrition program, and I can name hundreds, but those come to my mind right away because of what's going on outside of in the community in terms of food service. So many people have lost their jobs, but there is a need to train people who understand food service and science. What about the health implications of working in a restaurant? Someone has to be able to understand, how do you make sure the food is kept in a way that's safe? Well, we have a program where you can earn a certificate for that and get a job. So um, SAC will remain relevant. We are with administration. One of the things we try to do is move out into the community and participate in chamber events. And I sit on the board for the Santa Ana Chamber so that we can make sure that the community and businesses understand what we do, and think about hiring our students if they have a need, whether it's in the business area, accounting, or whether it's in our auto or welding or some other area in general. But I feel it's really important that I did, where that I need to get out into the community to let our businesses know Santa Ana College, we have students who are ready and willing to work and benefit you as well as themselves. So no, I would don't nobody should ever count Santa Ana College out. We are growing, and by growing I mean we've evolved and grown into an institution that will be able to help students move into the world to solve problems. That to me is my vision for Santa Ana College, is to continue to support students and encourage them to go out into the world to solve the problems that we face every day.
Yes, and I completely agree with you in the fact that, Santa Ana College, they have great teachers, students too. We have really become like a small community in between students and teachers. And I know in those last couple months or two, especially because of the pandemic, a lot of teachers and students are getting more closer together. They're getting that closer as a sense of community. Like, is it's just so impactful what happened between students and teachers. So like in the last couple weeks, so I completely agree with you on that. And also like teachers trying to help their students move forward in their education. So I'll just hand it over to Juliet.
Hi. Okay, so now we're going to start talking more about um, a lot of things for transferring students. So there are many things that transfer students, I'm one of them, we have a lot of questions regarding how this semester is going to end, as it is one of our last semesters here. So one of the questions that a lot of transfer students have is, can you speak on what commencement is going to look like for the graduating class of 2020?
Okay. Um, a week and a half ago, we just completed a survey of students, asking you all, how do you envision commencement, given the orders that we can't congregate together and celebrate? And Santa Ana College is a place where graduations and where commencement is a very social affair. Last year we had over 5,000 people in the audience at Eddie Westfield, because we have so many people that wanted to celebrate the achievement of their graduates. And so we wanted to, before we made any decision to say, okay, we're going to do a virtual graduation or we're going to do this or that, we decided, let's hear from students to see what they want. And I wasn't surprised by, I just read some of the results this morning, and overwhelmingly people say, wait, no, could we postpone it so that we can still participate? We can walk across, we can walk up, get our diplomas, our families can celebrate with us. The majority of students are saying that's what they want, not virtual, which is important to us. So now we have to figure out, okay, what steps we need to take, because even as you say, as a transfer student, that marks a milestone in your life. And that sort of helps you put things in perspective and say, oh, that part of my life, I'm done. Now I'm moving on to this part. Just the sheer part activity of going to the graduation and sharing and participating with your families, really, that actually um, is a ritual that we all should be able to participate in. So based on the feedback that we received so far, where the majority of the students that were surveyed want to do a commencement, they want to do it face to face, postpone it till later in the year. Right now, that's what we're going to shoot for. And you may get some other requests for more information about what you all want. But I think it's important that we hear from you, so we at least allow you to have some kind of feedback, and also to, if we can help you participate in that ritual, that's the last thing we want to do, is take that away from any student. I know how important it was, because I know how I felt at 40, walking across the stage, getting a piece of paper. That was important to me. So I really know how that feels. So we're taking all that into account.
Well, it's nice to hear your response to that question. Uh, when we all got sent it, I think it was quite brilliant to have asked the students their own opinions about what commencement would look like for what they envision. Um, and it's very surprising and quite good that Santa Ana didn't just jump to something without getting that, opinions from the students, who are the ones that this means so much to. So, thank you to everyone who did that survey. Um, and the last question that we do have prepared today is there a piece of advice that you can give the students that you think is helpful?
Oh my gosh. you know, what I would say to those of you who are listening and watching, and I hope you can share this, education is a very powerful, powerful thing. And the ability to learn and to grow, you all are the future of this country. You're the future in the community. I often walk throughout when I was walking through campus and I would meet with students. And so I would ask them, so what problems are you going to solve when you graduate? And they would go, what are you talking about? Because usually people say, well, when you, what are you studying? What's your major? Nah, I want to know what problems you are going to solve, because your thinking about the world, I can learn from that. And so my encouragement would be, if you're feeling like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? We got this pandemic and da da da. I get it. I have my days where, I'm depressed. I get a little discouraged. I get, wow, things are changing. What am I going to do? I'm 67. Most of you are not in your stop. So I see the end. You all are like just beginning, and that's so exciting to me that you are, even with all the things going on globally. I'm not saying we should ignore them, no, but there are problems to be solved. Where is this coming from? I can, there could be some student at Santa Ana College right now in a STEM class who's trying to figure out, you know what, I think I have some ideas about this virus and a vaccine. Or I think I have some ideas about how the educational system can be transformed in a way to benefit more students online, especially those students who don't have access to the technology like they should. Not all homes, even in our immediate community, have access to a computer. They might have a phone, but they may not even have a data. You can't do your homework on the phone. And if you have 10 people in the house and 5 of them are going to school and you only have one laptop, what are you going to do? And so there may be students amidst all of us right now who are trying to figure out technology to go, well, you know what? Maybe we can figure out how to do more stuff on that little box that we talk on. I mean, I remember when a mobile phone, oh my God, you needed a weight to carry the darn thing. It was so huge. Where the fact that now you could put it in your purse, is amazing. So I know that there are future scientists, future doctors, future, oh my gosh, whether you want to do welding, electric, I don't care what it is you want to do to change this world. Those students are right there at that college and in our community. And so I would encourage you, don't give up, don't stop learning. You can always do that. We provide you with the access to the learning, but you do the learning on your own. I can't pour it into you. We can't make you learn. Through your own efforts, your own desire to know more and be more, that's how this world is going to change. And the communities that we live in are going to be better because all of you have made it up in your minds that you are going to make a change. And that just excites me. Even amidst all of this pandemic stuff, I mean, I'm not Pollyanna, but that excites me because I know that the human brain has the potential to create worlds because we've done it and we will continue to do that. I know I just went on and on, but
No worries. That's very inspiring. And I think that, for all the people that aren't here on this video call, they should really hear that from you because I'm sure it would really inspire them to leave this campus, with so many dreams and aspirations and goals. And that was really great. So that concludes our planned questions. So, would you be okay with answering some questions that we've received from the audience?
of course.
Okay, so the first question that we do have is from an audience member asking when you knew you wanted to be the president of Santa Ana College. What made you go after that goal?
I was the vice president of academic affairs. I started in that position in 2014. No, 2011. Time. In 2011. And I was in that position for 3 years. And I loved, just fell in love with the college, the community, but I like being in an environment where people learn anyway. And so when I came to the college the first time, I had an opportunity. And I have learned, and I could leave you with another thing. I have learned that when opportunities knock on the door, you can open the door and walk through it, or you can just say, I'm not going to pay attention, even though you're afraid. And there have been a lot of times when opportunities have presented themselves to me and I've been afraid. But then I had to examine, okay, now what is it you're afraid of? Well, an opportunity presented itself for me to become the president at Los Angeles Southwest College. And I would have rather stayed at Santa Ana to become the president, but there we already had a president. Okay. So you have two of them. So I took advantage of the opportunity to be a president at Los Angeles Southwest College. But then when the opportunity presented itself for me to come back to Santa Ana as the president, I jumped on it. And I did whatever I needed to do. I prepared myself, and I was very fortunate to be selected as the president in 2016. And so that's how I got there.
Oh, that's really interesting to hear your story and how you became where you are today. So the next question is going to come from Leslie.
Okay.
Yeah, so the next audience question is, will Santa Ana be left in good hands?
Yes. Yes, it will. I'm very proud of the administration, the faculty, the staff that is at Santa Ana College, and people care about students. They care about you guys. They care about each other. Um, the my vice presidents, Dr. Venethia Hubbard, who is the vice president of student services, Dr. Jeff Lamb, who is the vice president of academic affairs. We have Dr. Bart Hoffman, who is the vice president of administrative services, and we have Dr. Jim Kennedy, who is the vice president of our adult education program, which is growing like crazy. But I believe that these individuals, along with other managers who are there and staff, we have Jennifer De La Rosa, we have Alicia Kruzenga. These are deans that are there. We have, Maria Garabe, who is in student affairs. We have so many people in place to move the college forward. One of the things that I have really, how can I say, I always want to leave a place better than I found it. But not only leave it better than I found it, but the sun doesn't set and rise on me. There is no way I could be the president that I am without the support of the people on that campus. From whether it's admissions and records, I don't care whether it's the maintenance staff. I am who I am as a president because of the support I have from the people that work with me all the time. And I think that's given me such joy. And yeah, I have my days when I just want to go, what the heck? What the heck is going on here? I have days like that. We all do. But it's an awesome honor and a great responsibility it has been for me to be in a space where I feel it's important that I model for others how to move through situations when things aren't as good as they could be. So, yes, the college is in great hands as far as I'm concerned.
Yes, and also we also have another questions. So how one of the questions that the audience is asking is, how can we encourage single mothers to go to college or help the ones attending college?
Oh my gosh, I remember those days because I was a single parent. Um, I remember those days. And, one of the things in terms of encouraging them, um, wow. I mean, what helped me as a single parent was I was able to form uh, relationships with like study groups with other single parents. And so, what we would do on the weekends, and believe it or not, we could do this, we would actually go to the libraries. And at the time, my youngest son was 4 years old. And, what, you gonna take a 4-year-old to the library? Well, I did. But it was with other parents, and we would actually reserve one of the study rooms, and we would put books and toys in there. And the librarians were wonderful because they allowed us that, because their kids didn't make a lot of noise, they weren't acting all running all over the library. And my younger son would be there as well, and they'd be reading and doing other things. But I think what was important to me is I was working full time at the time. And so a lot of that encouragement for me to continue actually came from my employer. Um, and that support of flexibility with the hours I worked, they were okay with me taking classes at a certain time. There was a time where because I was working with Northrop Grumman, which is in Manhattan Beach, it used to be TRW, and I would go to school. I can't believe I did this. One night a week, all day on Saturday. And sometimes I was like really crazy. I would take classes at lunch. And I told my boss, I'm not going to eat at my desk or anything. Can I take a class and can I stay later? And so what I would do is I get on the 405 freeway, drive from Manhattan Beach all the way to West LA, take my class, come back to work and work a little later. Luckily, my son's grandmother was there uh, babysitting, and she could only do it sometimes. So on those days that she could, is we arranged for me to have the classes. But you need support from your family. You need support from, if you're working, and a majority of the single parents that uh, come to Santa Ana College actually work part-time. So it's difficult to take time off work with the studying, but it can be done. And so sometimes what you have to do is build your own support group. And I actually built my own support group, and I actually set up a writing group called Sisters in a Circle. And so it was like 5 of us. And that became the support group to help us get through college. And that took us all the way through our bachelor's degree program. It was wonderful to do that. But sometimes you just have to start your own thing. If you see a need for something and you don't see it happening, maybe you might have to be the bold one and start it yourself. That would be, I think that's one of the things that I would say, especially for the single moms, because they're so creative, and they have so many ideas because they have to be. But it might not be a bad idea. It's like they probably have an idea. It's like, let me find some like-minded students who are in the same boat I am, and we pool our resources together, and we can get through school.
Yes, and I completely agree with you that like not only just single mothers, but just every student needs to find that support,
Yes.
that support team, that support group. And it could be amongst, other, friends or like teachers or even their personal, families and stuff like that, that they can like find that support group and, kind of like push themselves in order to, do better, be
Yeah.
better, and, pursue that education that they're trying so hard to achieve. So
Yes.
I'll hand it over to Juliet for the next question.
All right, so the next question that we did receive was asking about if you have a mentor or had a mentor, and if so, what suggestions do you have on finding one and asking them?
Okay. Wow. Yes. I have several mentors still, and I had several mentors. Um, I guess I am the oldest of 8 children. And so I spent much of my teenage years taking care of my siblings. So asking questions and asking people for help, um, because I was always taking care of my siblings, I learned as a young person that if I wanted to get something, I better go ask because people can't read my mind. They don't know what I'm thinking, but there's a way that I can go about asking questions. So I think the first mentor I had was when I was working full time at um, Northrop Grumman. He passed away, but he was my boss, but he encouraged me all the time, go back to school, go back to school. And I used to tell him, you don't know what you're talking about. I don't need, what do I need to go back to school for? I'm not doing that. And I don't have time. I got kids. I have 2 kids. Why am I going back to school? And he's like, because it'll change your life. And he kept telling me that. And I said, I'm not listening to him. Who does he think he is? And I kept doing that till I was 34. And then finally, and this was after, unfortunately, he passed away. And there was a little angel on my shoulder kept saying, go back to school. You're, how are you going to change your life without an education? All you have is a high school diploma. How are you going to change your life and the lives of your sons if you don't hunker down and go back to school? How are you going to do that? Okay. So I did it. I signed up to go back to college. I started at West LA Community College. And um, I mean, he just, before he passed away, he just kept pushing me, pushing me, pushing me. And I got tired of him pushing me. I said, how do I shut this person up? And I said, okay, the way he's going to stop pushing me is if I go and do this. And he left me alone, but when he passed away, I kind of, I heard his lessons all the time. Then when I was in college, um, I had faculty members there at West LA who saw something in me. And they came to me and they said, well, so what are you going to do? I said, well, I got a job. I just want to get my little AA degree and I'm done. And I remember one of my instructors said, what? No, 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 no. Aren't you going to go get your bachelor's degree? And I said, why? That's more money. I don't have time to go get a bachelor's degree. And I'm sure some of you out there going, I had an instructor tell me the same thing. But then, you hear what you want to hear when you're ready to hear it. And at the time, I thought, okay, somebody else sees this in me. Let me keep moving. And I did. And so I transferred to Cal State Dominguez's PACE program because I was in the PACE program at West LA, which was designed for adult students. And as I said earlier, you went to school one night a week and all day on Saturday, right? And I took 12 units every semester. And it took me, that's how I was able to finish with 3 degrees in 6 years because I kept doing 12 units, but they were on this accelerated format. So I fell in love with that format. And when I transferred to Cal State Dominguez, another mentor, I was in my bachelor's degree program, and my bachelor's degree program was in interdisciplinary studies, where I studied, oh my gosh, so many different disciplines, but I minored in English. And so my English professor, one evening, I was taking a class, and she said to me, so what are you going to do? I said, what do you mean, what am I going to do? I have a job. This is just going to get me more money, because it was the more education you had at the time, you got more money. And I said, okay, this would be great. I'm my retirement and all of that, helping my kids and all of this stuff. And she said, so you have your bachelor's degree. So are you thinking about getting your master's? I remember looking at her like she was crazy. I was like, are you kidding me? No, I'm not getting a master's degree. I'm done. I'm staying where I am because by then I had been promoted 3 times. And I went from a secretary clerk and I was a contract specialist. So I said, oh, I got a good job and I could go do all these other things. And she just kept bugging me. She kept bugging me. And then after I graduated with my bachelor's degree, um, I enrolled in the master's degree program at Cal State Dominguez to get my master's in English. And people have recognized my talents and they tell me that, and I listen to them. And that's how I've continued to move forward. And finally, I had one of my mentors who was a former boss, a former president, said to me, "So are you thinking about going to get your doctorate?" I was like, enough with the school stuff, people. I do not want to hear this anymore. So they asked me, "Well, if you want to go on, have you thought about getting your doctorate?" What? I thought I would never see another school, never, other than where I worked. Okay. So I was working at Cerritos College. I worked there for 17 years. And my mentor said, "You should think about applying for a doctorate program." And I'm just thinking, I am not that smart. I literally thought that. I am not that smart. People who do that are really, really smart people. I thought like that. She goes, "What are you talking about? You're smart. I mean, you're a dean," because I was on my way to be a dean at the time, but I was still a faculty member when she told me that. So I said, okay, okay. So I applied, and purposely, this is how we think sometimes. I said, I'm only going to apply to one place because I'll never get in there, and then she'll leave me alone. I applied to UCLA. Did I not get into the doctorate program? Okay, I got into the program. And I didn't mean to. It was funny. When I told her that I got into the program, and she's like, "I told you, I told you." So, you know, I listen to people, and I do go back and seek their advice about things I have questions about. I keep in contact with the people who have mentored me, just to say hello. How you doing? Is there anything I can help you with? Whatever. So mentors are very, very important. That is one of my uh, visions for Santa Ana College. You are surrounded by mentors all the time. And I think some of the students don't even know they are. But there are mentors there hidden away. They're on your shoulders every day. You go to class, you have mentors in there. So mentors are very important.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think whoever asked that probably thought the same thing. But it's really interesting that you say, it's important to listen to the people around you because oftentimes, even though there are a lot of mentors around you, people don't listen. And that can sometimes lead to different paths for them instead of, eventually going up in life. So thank you so much for sharing that. We do have another question. So, as a president of a great college, you must experience a lot of stress. So, what advice do you have for self care?
Okay. Yes, stress. Yes, yes, yes. Oh. um, I meditate. I meditate. I there are times when would forget and not do it as often as I could, but my practice has been twice a day. Sometimes I would, go in my office, close the door, even if it's just for 10 minutes. I do my meditation. I do transcendental meditation. Um, and that's been so important to my well-being. I like to walk. Walking has been the thing that I do. Now I do my treadmill. I try to get back up to doing uh, 45 to 30 minutes a day, at least 3 days a week, a minimum. And I love music. I I have purposely placed speakers in every room in my house. And when I turn on Spotify or Pandora or whatever I can find, I still have the little CD player. I'm going to show you. I still have a CD player. Okay. Oh. and I put on old CDs with Howard Hewitt and Temptations, and I dance around my house. Whether this was even pre-pandemic, but I love music. I love arts and crafts. And so by doing those things, I think that has contributed to my mental health. Um, the sugar gets the best of me though, because I fall back on the sugar, and that's not good. And I try to go, okay, you don't really need that Snickers bar right now. Get it out of your house, okay? You don't need to eat that, okay? But then I go and bake a dozen cupcakes. Who's going to eat a dozen cupcakes? I'm the only one in the house. Okay. So I try not to do that because I used to bake the cupcakes and take them down to Admissions and Records. And then I had to stop doing that because I'd still save a dozen and eat them myself. So anyway, that's another story. It's because I like baking. I used to have a catering business. So anyway, so the well-being, find things you love to do, even as a student. Because even when I was a student, I found things I liked to do. And whether it's 5 minutes or 10 minutes, take some time to do that thing so you can get through school. Because one of the things I used to say all the time would be, okay, Linda, this class is only temporary. You are not going to be doing this the rest of your life. This is only temporary. And I get through the semester because usually by the end of the semester, it'd be like, I'm tired of this. Okay, especially if you're working and taking care of your family, kids, you're like, okay, what do I do? And I go, this is only temporary. That was my mantra. This is only temporary. You will get through this. What did you learn? How is it going to help you? So the self-care, you find things you like to do. And I relish and embrace solitude. That might sound a little strange given the times that we're in, but I'm a closet introvert. Okay. So if you're a closet introvert, you're in heaven right now. Okay. But if you're an extrovert, you're like, oh, I need my peeps. Where are they? Oh my God, this, I can't touch your face. This is all, I can't, I'm tired of this. Where are my people? But if if you're someone who relishes that solitude, um, and even if you're an extrovert, solitude is not a bad thing because it gives you time to think, hear yourself think, ask yourself questions. And sometimes when you can, because not everybody has the luxury of being, having the opportunity to sit alone somewhere, especially if you have little kids. I remember that. Every 5 minutes, Mom, that is not my name. Stop calling me that. I mean, just, things like that. But if you can, find a minute, even if it's a minute, just to be silent. It will do so much for your well being you couldn't possibly imagine. So, those are the things that I do.
Thank you so much for sharing that. I think a lot of people right now, in this certain state of affairs, are struggling with, solitude, and they're not understanding, what ways you can, have self care and practice that.
Yes.
And it's really interesting to hear what you do as someone who does experience so much stress. And all these things of self-care can be applied to different areas of life outside of this whole situation. So I think it's really beneficial that you answered that and shared your own experiences.
Yes.
So
even the sugar eating.
Yeah. So we do have one last question.
Okay.
Feel free to answer this and add on to any last words you would like to make. But the question is, do you see the future of college education going 100% online, or will in-person education survive?
Okay. This is going to be, I am a social person. Okay. Even though I like solitude, I don't see education moving totally online. It may, oh, let's see. You know, I watch Rick and Morty sometimes. And some of you kind of know what who Rick and Morty are. So we're not going to get to the point, I don't think, in my lifetime, in the next 25 years, where it's totally online. We may be moving closer to having more and more opportunities to be online. Um, remember, we have virtual reality. We have those where you wear the TV on your face now. The virtual, what do you call those? Whatever you call them. The those will be learning opportunities. You might be able to take a class by putting on that whole apparatus and taking a class that way instead of through Zoom. I mean, and again, the people who are going to come up with this technology are out in this audience right now. They are at Santa Ana College right now. So the change for the future of education is going to be based on what ideas and innovative things that um, the students of today come up with um, in order to improve the way we learn. Because perhaps moving more towards technology frees us up for other things. Maybe it frees us up to do more, believe it or not, going back to gardening. All right. So now I may be taking something online or doing something with technology, but I can do something else. So rather than looking at the technology as something that will impede learning or stop it, maybe looking at it as an opportunity for us to look at something uh, as a way to do something more and something better. So, no, I don't think it's going to go all the way. It'll just free us up to do other things. We just have to, because adapting to this environment, um, it hasn't been difficult for me because I have all these other things. So I know that when I close down my computer, it's closed down. I might get on this morning. I've been on this computer since 7:30 this morning. Okay. Now you think I'm not tired of this? However, when I shut it down this evening, I'm not turning it back on. Now, my friends complain because they go, "You don't answer your phone." I've been talking to people all day, people. So, no, I'm not going to answer the phone. So, technology, we have to be able to kind of look at it. Yes, it could be a wonderful thing, or wait a minute, I need to rethink what's going on. Maybe we can do things a little better. So, yeah, personally, no, I don't think it's going to be totally that way. But who knows? I may live to see it otherwise.
Thank you so much for answering all these questions that we have prepared. And also, special thanks to the audience for asking these questions. We really appreciate hearing from what the audience is thinking, and we thank you for that. Thank you, Leslie, for joining the interview. It was very great to have you. And then, last but not least, thank you, Dr. Linda Rose, for, once again, giving your time. And it's very appreciated.
Of course, there's nothing I would rather do. And thank you all for the opportunity. And thank you for some very insightful questions. I really appreciated the manner in which you handled everything. Thank you so much. I will miss this.